Thanks for checking out my video. If you want to learn more from me, I have a lot of classes on Udemy. You can find the links to a lot of those in the description.
All right, so the topic for today is emotions versus thoughts. And what I want you to think about is one is the fuel for the car, and the other one is the GPS for the car. So if you've done any sort of magic, you'll know that you need to raise energy for whatever work you're doing. Whether it's a binding, a banishment, a beneficial thing, you're trying to manifest something, you're trying to create something, you're trying to bring something new into your life, you're trying to get something old out of your life, what have you, there needs to be some kind of fuel. And I'm not talking about just like the fuel as offerings and things like that where you're doing like incense burning, candle lighting and stuff. You got to have fuel on the inside. If you want to really in-depth dive to this sort of thing, my books Magical Theater and Magical Mechanics both really dive deep into this stuff. So check out my website, and through my link tree in the description you can find my books. They're available on Amazon. If you want to take a deep dive into them also, you can check out my classes on Udemy, once again through the link tree down in the description. But so we want to think of emotions as our fuel, and your logic and thinking and decision making and discernment as the GPS. So, what kind of spell are you planning? What kind of spell are you going to do? Are you doing something beneficial? Or are you doing something baneful? Are you trying to grow something? Or are you trying to diminish something? Generally speaking, you want powerful emotions such as anger or sadness that deal with, diminishing something. So if you're trying to get somebody or some aspect of something out of your life, you want to have higher activated emotions. If you are trying to bring something into your life, such as abundance or what have you, you want to walk into that ritual space and have the emotion of positivity, happiness, almost like you're giddy to a hysteric level when you're stepping into your ritual space doing manifestation-y, abundance-y kind of magic. So raising that kind of energy requires getting to understand what they feel like, and Magical Theater, my book, really dives deep into how to play around with those emotions. Same with Magic 101 on Udemy. So we want to raise those positive emotions by piggybacking on previous experiences that we have had with those emotions. What's your happiest memory? What's your saddest memory? What's your angriest memory? Things like that. And being able to access them to get an idea of what they feel like and bringing that feeling up whenever you need it in a particular ritual. Think about it. If you smile physically, it'll actually change your physiology to make you happy. If you do that Superman / Wonder Woman pose, that can make you more confident. If you sit more reserved and slouched and kind of shrink your physicality and shrink your energy down, that can actually lower your emotional state. And through these methods, we conjure up the right kind of energy that we need for a particular ritual. Okay, so on top of that, now we have the fuel. We stopped at the gas station. What exactly do we want to do with that fuel? Where are we going? You have to plan your rituals out as far as what kinds of things you need to bring to the altar, maybe what day of the week you're going to do it, what time you're going to do it based on your schedule, what time you're going to do it, maybe based on the movements of the stars and the planets and what sign is in what, whether Mercury is in retrograde or not, whether a planet is exalted or not. You can really make these things very, very heavily with ceremonial magic in that way, and that only adds to the oomph that you're going to get, in my opinion. Of course, you can go the chaos magic route, which sometimes I do, where I got to do something, I got to do it right now. I don't have time to pay attention to whether Mercury's in retrograde or, this planet's exalted or what have you. But the more that you do that, the more in-depth that you can be with having to wait for certain signs and things, and therefore you can sit back and really plan and plan what you're going to execute as far as what everything is you're going to say, what spirit you're going to work with, what are the colors in your altar going to be like, what tools are you going to use? Do you need to go out and get certain materials? Maybe you have to wait for them to come by Amazon or whatever. That gives you time to build the perfect kind of thing. Think about it. If you had a day to write a paper in school versus a week or 2 weeks or a month? Which one do you think is going to be more well thought out? Which one do you think is going to be more well researched? Which one do you think is going to get you a higher grade? I would argue the one that you had more time to plan and research and execute and go over your drafts and what have you and make it more perfect. So we want that GPS to point us in the exact right direction that we want to go because, and I've talked about this in several other videos before, magic is like lightning. It takes the shortest route from what you want to the result. So if you say, man, I'm spending a lot of money on stuff and I wish that my bills weren't as high, right? Well, let's say you're paying a bunch for a car and, to keep up on the repairs and stuff like that, your car. And so, you're like, oh man, this car costs so much. I wish it didn't cost so much. I wish I wasn't spending so much money on it. That car craps the bed. Guess what? Now you don't have a car. You're not spending money on making repairs on it, so you're not having to shell out that money, are you? Because that's what you communicated. So the universe was like, okay, hey, you want that? Boom, here it is. That's not entirely what you wanted, is it? No. Why? Because you weren't specific enough. You got to write a check the universe can cash. So you got to write that specific check that the universe can cash. You don't want like $50-something. You want $57.23. You got to be specific, right? If you're at a store and your amount is $57.23, but you write a check for 50-something, they're not going to be able to cash that, are they? No. So you want to be as specific as possible. So you want to have the right energy, the right emotions, and the rightly planned ritual to get you exactly what you want. So use your emotions as fuel and use your brain and your discernment and all the things that you can think of and all the things that you can plan to make your magic effective. All right. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Drop it a like and subscribe if you haven't. Definitely let me know if you like this video and if it helped you out. You can always suggest other video topics and any other questions that you might have for me because I always take that inspiration. If you want to go even deeper with me, you can join me on my Patreon where I post a ton of different research and you'll also get early access to my videos. Until next time, good hunting.